Welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm Kathleen Walter. With us today is Andrew Marcus. He's the director of the new documentary called Hating Breitbart. Released in theaters nationwide and digitally, the film has created quite a sensation. It was Amazon.com's third most popular documentary in its first week of release, and it's currently ranked number 15 of all DVD documentaries on the Amazon charts. And thanks so much for being with us today, Andrew.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Well, you spent 30 months and traveled to more than 15 cities to create this film. What was it about Andrew Breitbart that inspired you to do this film, and why the title, Hating Breitbart?
Well, Andrew Breitbart personified the fight that I was already on the ground documenting. I started early on documenting protests and the protest movements left and right. And when the Tea Party protest movement started, I discovered what I witnessed over and over again in other protests. There's a huge difference between reality on the ground and what the media portrays. The reality on the ground for the Tea Party was people who were outraged at the size of their government and government spending, and Congress passing bills that nobody read. And the media portrayed that movement as racist and potentially violent. Now, along comes Andrew Breitbart, and he was on the ground at these tea parties. That's how I started recording him. And like I said, he personified the fight. He was under attack in the exact same way by the exact same people. He was being called racist because he had just released the Acorn videos. Mm-hmm. For people who don't remember, the Acorn videos were videos made by James O'Keefe and Hannah Giles, and they went into Acorn offices across the country posing as a pimp and a prostitute, trying to see whether or not Acorn would allow them to help them launder money for a underage brothel filled with illegal immigrant children. And Acorn let them do it. So Andrew Breitbart distributed those videos across the world and ended up taking Acorn down. Mm-hmm. And he was viciously attacked as racist, as deceptive, and it was by the same machine that was attacking the Tea Party. Mm-hmm. It's a machine of hatred, of vilification. The way I describe it is that the progressive movement, the institutional left, has weaponized these newsrooms to assassinate character of anybody who doesn't toe the progressive line. And that was Andrew Breitbart, that was the conservative movement, that's the Tea Party, and Andrew Breitbart just personified that fight.
Andrew Breitbart died prematurely of a heart attack last March, and prior to his death, you were given unprecedented access to his life. You were there when he published the Acorn videos, confronted Congressman John Lewis about his claim that protesters had shouted racial slurs at him, and you covered the Anthony Weiner Twitter scandal. What will folks learn about him that maybe they didn't know before, and also what will they learn about the left?
Oh, well, listen, what you learn about Andrew Breitbart, because when you see Andrew Breitbart through all these stories, if you're familiar with these stories or Andrew's interaction in these stories, you know about Andrew the fighter, but you don't know about Andrew the human being, the person behind that fight. And he was an incredibly personable guy, so much so that even the people that were his detractors who took the time to actually get to know him, they would all say, oh my God, I was totally surprised. I actually ended up liking this guy. I mean, he was incredibly fun to be around. What you learn about the left, I think it's just sort of the magic of the movie making process. We're able to condense and distill down the hatred, so you're able to see it in a much more a different way than you would normally see it distributed across time and space in the cable news. Mm-hmm. And when it's condensed down like that, and you see in aggregate the narratives that they're all pushing, it's absolutely horrifying, and it's eye-opening.
We learned in the last couple of weeks that the Tea Party and conservative groups had been targeted by the Obama administration's IRS. Andrew Breitbart, as you mentioned, was a tireless protector of the Tea Party and defended it against charges of racism, radicalism, and violence. Are there lessons to be learned from your documentary about how the Tea Party can fight back?
Oh, absolutely. Andrew Breitbart was a model for how to stand up and fight back. And I think that the movement prior to Andrew Breitbart, when people are usually charged with racism, the answer is, well, no, I'm not. And Andrew Breitbart came back and said, no. That's not the answer you give. The answer you give, and it's in the film, is, I'll give the clean version, is F you, war. And he was absolutely right. You stand and you walk into the fire and you will come out stronger as a result. That was what Andrew Breitbart was about. He was about standing up and fighting back.
And what about the citizen journalists who he inspired? Breitbart was a master at galvanizing the right-wing blogosphere. What role do you see these folks playing as the White House deals with the trifecta of scandals, Benghazi, IRS abuses, and AP phone records?
Well, look, I think that Andrew Breitbart one lesson that you can take away from Andrew Breitbart was that the old media paradigm, the monopoly on the narrative that the old media had, was absolutely dead. They still have a tremendous amount of strength, but the monopoly is dead. And Andrew Breitbart knew this, and this is why in the film, as he's challenging the accusation of the N-word being used against Congressman Lewis at a Tea Party movement. At a Tea Party rally, he shouts to the crowd, everybody put your cameras up in the air. Everyone put your cameras up in the air. And a sea of cameras go up in the air. And Andrew's point was, there's been two major changes that have happened. One, acquisition. Everybody's got a camera now. So the major networks and the local affiliates are not the only people with cameras who can capture the narrative. And the other is the internet, distribution. Both of these walls, acquisition and distribution, have come tumbling down. And like I said, they still have a stranglehold on the narrative, but no longer a monopoly.
Do you think that his message of media corruption is more important now than before?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, Andrew Breitbart he fought for the truth in 2008, 2009, in leading up to 2012. And unfortunately now we're all getting it. If the mainstream media had been doing its job, I don't think we'd be facing this truth that we're facing now regarding the IRS, Benghazi, the Fox News reporters targeted, AP reporters targeted, essentially the attack on the First Amendment by the executive branch. Had they done their jobs, had the AP done their jobs, we might not be facing this right now. And that's how critical this is.
All right. Well, if folks want to learn more about the film Hating Breitbart, where can they go?
Oh, you can go to hatingbreitbart.com and follow us at Hating Breitbart on Twitter. We are at iTunes right now, Amazon, Netflix, all the major video on demand, so please seek us out.
All right, Andrew Marcus, congratulations on the film. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.